Hi guys, it's Beth here today on the Scrapping for Less channel, and today I am using the collection number 2, Tropical Fruit is the name of that collection, from the July 2020 card kit, and I'm making 2 cards today. And I'm going to start off making a slimline card using the SFL Sketch Challenge number 7 sketch that was on the sketch download sheet for July. And I already have my circles pre-cut and my card base is ready to go. The card base is what's called for on the sketch, so the folded size is 3.5 by 8.5, and it's just some white cardstock. My circles are pre-cut, and I did use some yellow cardstock from my stash to back those pattern paper circles. And the yellow layer is 2 1/4, and then the inner circle with the pattern paper is 2 inches. So I am using one of the stamps from the stamp set in this collection, and I'm stamping it onto what's going to be my center circle. And so basically that is a yellow pattern paper. That is a scrap from, I believe it's collection number 4. I wanted more of a solid color to stamp my sentiment on. And I use the sentiment, if life gives you lemons, sell them and buy pineapples. So I thought that was cute and fun. So here I am cutting down 2 strips of the blue polka dot pattern paper that I want to go across the center of my card. And I ended up making the strips 2 inches wide, and then I think I cut them down to 4 1/4 inches long, so it was exactly half of the width of the card. And then they will meet, both of those pieces will meet in the center, and then will be covered up by my center circle. So I just made sure to cut my strips just a wee bit smaller than the width of my center circle. So I am just going to get these adhered on, and then we'll trim up the one side. Somehow I ended up with an extra 1/16 of an inch on that strip on the right. So once I get that on, I'm going to clean up that right-hand side there with a little bit of overhang. And I already have my circle layers adhered together, so now I just have to adhere them to my card, and I'm just using my ATG for that. And I do apologize because I'm kind of off to the right. And I'm just getting all 3 adhesive on the back of all 3 so that I can kind of lay them out all at the same time without actually pressing them down or letting them sit too long, just so I can readjust if needed. So I'm making sure that they're all spaced as equally as I can get them, and they're good, so I can go ahead and press them down. I have 2 pineapples that I have already stamped and watercolored, and this is from the stamp set in this collection as well. And I did use the watercolors that came in the banana split level of this kit, and I've watercolored on the last 2 videos that I made using this kit, so I decided to skip that part for you today. And already had them prepped and ready to go. So now I'm just using some art glitter glue to put those down and giving those a chance to dry. And now I'm going to come in with some Dandelion Yellow Nouveau crystal drops that I got from Scrapping for Less a while back, just to add some extra detail to the top left and bottom right corners of my card. So I started with 3 drops in the top left, thought I could get 4 on the bottom right, but it wasn't going to work. So was able to get 1 more on that top left so I could have my odd number of 7 drops. And that is card number 1. So for card number 2, I decided to challenge myself and use the scraps from that slimline card. So I have another pineapple that I've already stamped, and this time I did color it with some Copics. So I had miscut the first time I tried to do the strip for my slimline card, and so I knew I had 2 sets of scraps that were the same size. And so I figured I could somehow piece them together to make kind of a card mat, kind of like a collage style card, if you will. And so I'm trying to get those polka dot scraps lined up, and then I'm using some of that pineapple pattern paper trying to figure out how big I need to make that so that it will fit in my open space there. And I did cut, believe it or not, I did cut some of this out because for some reason I fiddled with this for a while before I finally found the right size. So once I figured out the size for my left-hand size, then I know what I need to cut the one for the right side, and we can move on. So now that I have my pieces cut, then I can go ahead and adhere them down. But I want to figure out something to do for my center as well. So I think about using that patterned, the pineapple pattern paper, but then decide I kind of like that yellow scrap, and I can add my sentiment on there and that pineapple, and then that can be my focal point. So this time I am using the sentiment that says, "A pineapple a day keeps the worries away." And I'm just stamping it off one time because I want to make sure I can get a good clear stamp on my yellow piece. And then somehow I twitched and moved the stamp block just a bit, so it was a wee bit blurry. So I decided to try again, and the side is much more crisp. So that will be my focal point, and then I will eventually adhere the pineapple on there. And I'm going to back it on some white as well, just to help it stand out a little bit more on my blue background there. And I do decide to round the corners of both pieces. So now I'm coming back and getting all of my little scrap pieces adhered down. And I'm trying to work in like a little grid pattern and make sure everything is lined up. And I do fuss with it for a little bit because I got trying to make sure everything's straight and that everything is equally spaced, and this is not one of my strong suits, but it all works out in the end. And I think what actually it is there, that bottom left corner is one of those pieces that was like a 1/16 of an inch too big. So even though I thought all my pieces were the same size, that one was just a wee bit wider than the other one. So when I go to put this piece on, it's not, the spacing isn't right. So I pull up that smaller piece and scoot it over a bit, and then fix my piece on the left, and then we are good to go. So I'm getting my last little pineapple strip down there. And now I finally feel like I have a good evenly spaced grid pattern. So I'm going to put my little focal point piece together and adhere that yellow patterned paper, and this is more of the paper from the In the Tropics collection number 4. And once I get that on, I can use some more glitter glue to put my pineapple on. And I decided that it needs a little more pop of yellow to balance out all that blue. So I had a strip from where I had cut the circle from card number 1 and had those corners left. So I decided to punch some small circles from it. And I believe it's a 1/2 inch circle punch that I have. And so I cut those, and then we'll just adhere those down just to add some more brighter color to the card. And I ended up doing 2 in the top left and 3 in the bottom. And that pulls the yellow all the way through. And that is card number 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 quick cards today and you got some more inspiration on using your kit. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for your time, and I hope you're all having a great day.